The word Soweto, what does it mean? Southwestern township.
Of the orchestra's several tour stops in South Africa, we chose Soweto for broadcast.
Soweto is a vital part of the story of South Africa. But it just happened to be where Nelson Mandela lived and Bishop Tutu had a home. Soweto became a center for the struggle for freedom.
Regina Mundi was a place where black leaders and the people of the community would meet up and just talk about the political issues, since they didn't have the chance to express themselves out in the public due to the risks of being caught by the police and everything. So they would talk about what needs to be done in order to have the freedom that we have today.
This was the epicenter of the anti-apartheid movement, and the evidence is everywhere in Regina Mundi Church. One student riot that had galvanized not just the nation, but global attention on the horrors of apartheid. In June of 1976, when student protesters fled into the relative safety of the church, and the police followed them, shooting up the place, and those bullet holes remain as a reminder of that time and the struggle.
Nelson Mandela actually inspires me because he fought for the freedom. He didn't use any violence. He just believed in the power of using your words. Even though he had his own mistakes, but in the end, he managed to get us the freedom that we have today.
We just left Nelson Mandela's home where he lived, so it was really powerful. You know, I just finished his autobiography, so it was really interesting to actually be in the house and really inspiring, I think, because, you know, we're playing this concert tonight in Soweto. All of us have this added experience, which is going to be really special.
We have different races in Soweto. We have Indians, we have blacks, we have whites. The people here actually, we really do love each other. We support each other, and that's really beautiful. An orchestra from the US to collaborate with black South Africans in Soweto even, it actually is quite amazing.
We get to be ambassadors for our country and for bridging cultures, which is what this is all about.
We had about 50 singers, all of whom had participated in the Music for Mandela programs, and were prepared and ready to embrace that experience with the Gauteng Choristers 2911 and, of course, the Minnesota Orchestra. The South African traditional songs were completely foreign to my singers. It was a challenge to learn the South African texts, Zulu and Xhosa and Sotho and Afrikaans and all of these different languages.
You know, in Xhosa we've got 4 clicks, you know, it's and then we've got, and then I always say we've got the voiced one, which is
The learning of the clicks was horrifically terrifying for all of us. The mechanism to make these clicks, it's interesting because anyone can do it. They're very common sounds, but they're made by creating this small little vacuum with your mouth and then sucking the air in with your tongue to make this popping sound. Nelson Mandela came into power and said, we need a new South African national anthem. And he took this song that simply means God bless Africa and said, this is now going to be part of our national anthem. To understand what that meant, to understand who would be singing this and why, and to see us sing that in their own language, tone clicks and all, it's not just respectful, but it's this powerful bonding moment.
My counterpart, Sidwell, was remarkable in the way he connected so directly to the music and seemed to just draw it out of my singers. We moved to the South African pieces, And the audience, as soon as they heard the first line of a song, they jumped to their feet and they started singing and dancing. And I've never experienced anything like that. That type of audience participation, just sheer joy and excitement around the experience of coming together and making music.
The audience would scream because that's how we are, that's how we enjoy ourselves. We sing and we dance and we shout and we ululate. So having that kind of an audience was absolutely phenomenal.
The piece, as we were taught it, literally just is the sound of a train moving. It's shoshaloza, but it's kind of an onomatopoeia play off of this train moving forward. The rest of the words are this train is moving forward, get on the train, and is bringing us to South Africa. And it was a song done by the miners as they went off to the gold and the diamond mines outside of Johannesburg. But also it has this rich history of it was a song that Nelson Mandela, when he was doing his forced labor, was using it as a work song to move forward.
We felt very keenly what a privilege it was to be there and to play and to be accepted by this audience. There was no proper box office. Here were some tables set up outside near the doors, and people clamored to get in.
Each person that I talked to that night had such a story and was able to, in many cases, tell the story of the anti-apartheid movement from their own history, which is kind of incredible and I think speaks to how recent it was in many ways.
I brought my family because when we grew up, we were never exposed to orchestra music. We could sing the choral music, but orchestra music was meant for the whites only. So, but now we are bringing up my kids so that they can understand.
A musical exchange where our musicians are working alongside their musicians, creating art, creating connection. We wanted to be in that same space and tell that story to Minnesotans because this is who we are. This is who we are as a state. This is who we are as artistic partners doing these surprising things. And so this was important for us to be there.
The music and the musicianship of the choristers and the people we came across and how much they love music and how they respond to it and also how much they give it and the generosity and the warmth that is so just pure. It was really, really inspiring and powerful and moving to me because it's a way of transforming that pain.